Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about XinFin Network, aka XDC. So with that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from the XDC community. And we've seen a huge conference with, of course, XinFin being represented in great ways. I mean, honestly, what we have seen from this conference was pretty big. We got some great insights on the plans around DLT, especially within the trade finance and even just, you know, the overall financial landscape of things. I think that this is great, and we even see from XDC community, day 2 continues with Andre Casterman diving deeper into how DLT and blockchain technology is extending open banking to risk mitigation with XDC network. And yeah, I think that this is pretty significant. Listen, as we look at the power behind DLT and this technology, what I have been saying, especially over on Twitter, is that we are really marching into a decade of financial innovation. And it's all through the technology advancements that we are seeing through DLT and blockchain. And this technology is so crucial to focus on, especially at this current moment in time because of how early we actually are. And like I said, you know, so many people are so focused on the short-term aspect in the space, you know, not too many are focused on the long-term. You know, to me, I look at crypto, I don't look at crypto as a way to get rich quick. I actually look at crypto as a way to be extremely early on something for the first time in history before the big institutions and the big banks are here yet. Because they really aren't here just yet, not in scale at least. So I'm very excited about the next couple years, and I think that the next decade, we are going to see a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money, moving through this space. And the utility giants like XDC, for example, are going to be one of the major players around that to see a large portion of the wave of institutional grade finance and value, coming through this space. Now, over here, we have the image. DLT extends open banking to risk mitigation. And this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the full breakdown of it. And at the bottom, we have the cost reduction, operational risk reduction. Then at number 2, we have traceability, visibility, and control fraud risk mitigation, automation, programmability, settlement risk mitigation. And then we also have accessibility to assets, fractional ownership, liquidity risk. Now at the bottom, there is on-chain data exchange. Then we have tracking of assets and transactions, instant payments using on-chain value, and then we have on-chain investment products. Now, as you guys do see around a lot of this, you are probably aware of the idea of on-chain liquidity. We see a lot of things talking about new asset classes. I mean, listen, as we look at everything, anything and everything of value will be tokenized. I've said this many times on this channel, and I'm a big believer in the idea that crypto will achieve a $100 trillion market cap in the next couple, cycles. I've talked about this heavily. It might not be by 2030, but I do believe that later on, we will see a lot of money pouring into this space because of the efficiencies tied to it. Like, listen, I've done so much research on these tokens, especially XDC, and I still think that I even think that myself included is a little bit underexposed to XDC. No matter how much XDC I hold, I still feel like I need to hold more because it's one of those gems that I just think is so overlooked in this space. There's not enough people focused on XDC. Over here, another great image from this meeting. This is on XDC Live. This is the major conference in Austin, Texas. We've seen scaling trade origination and distribution to close the multi-trillion-dollar SME funding gap. Listen, as we look at XinFin and XDC, we know that it's poised for major adoption. I've been talking about this for the last couple months and even the last couple years. And what's funny is, I've noticed this. I don't really look too much at views on this channel. I don't really care too much about, numbers or anything like that. I love putting up educational content, really kind of talking about these tokens and putting a spotlight on some undervalued gems. But on XDC content itself, I noticed that there wasn't a lot of people really kind of looking at it or even caring about XDC, which, hey, listen, that's why we talk about these tokens. We make sure to really kind of talk about these projects when they are undervalued and completely overlooked. But what happened recently with XDC skyrocketing to like 8 cents off of the bottom, around like almost 2 cents, doing a 4x in a very short amount of time, I seen a wave of people coming over and looking at XDC and realizing what XDC is actually doing. And what's funny about that is that, a lot of people still think that they're, too late after something does pump like that. But, we did come back down. We came back down. We tested some nice levels. We might come down a little bit lower. I've talked about this. I do think that the 4 to 5 cent zone is crucial to look at. But I do think that over the course of the next couple months, a lot of people are going to come over and say, wow, I can't believe I missed XDC. Because this is one of those tokens that right now is probably the best time to be looking at. Why? Well, I've talked about it. September, right? We get a ton of huge updates in September around regulations within crypto, right? Frameworks are going to be coming out. There's going to be a lot of updates around that. But also, like I said, around the electronic trade documents bill, this goes live and fully comes into effect on September 20th. Next month, we see this bill go fully live. Within this, we also start to see a big push on with MLETR. MLETR is the next fundamental thing to look into. Shout out to Marina over on Twitter. She posted this image with Singapore and India with, of course, MLETR. Singapore and India kick off an era of interoperable electronic bills of lading for trade finance. This is a big update. This is the new era of digital commerce. When we look at this, this is going to be a big deal. Why? Because everything around trade finance is changing. And DLT and blockchain is the crucial piece to this. What do you see from Marina? This was announced by Minister for Trade and Industry at the G20 Trade and Investment Ministerial meeting in India. And we actually have another video from that conference, which I did include even in an XRP video from earlier today. But we also see from Sean of the Woke, dominoes of progress. This is all centered heavily on MLETR, the solution, the standard around trade finance. We're already getting the bill. The bill is coming into effect. MLETR is what's going to connect it all. We even see down here, should be noted that interoperability is key. Digital can mean cloud-based networks are involved. Blockchain is likely used, but I doubt we are going straight to blockchain in 100% of use cases, 100% of the time. Case by case practical implementation is quite likely, in my opinion. In all respects to Marina, but the illustration is of another case. And further, the tagging of Inigio for the Singapore-India deal was not relevant. She probably meant to tag Trade Trust itself. And listen, it doesn't really matter to me if we're going to start to see a big push on with, Inigio or blockchain. Like I've said many times, and even going back to like XRP or even HBAR, what will happen is we'll start to see one by one, and then all at once we'll start to see a flood. What I mean by this is all it really takes is one major step in the right direction around innovation. So you solve one thing, and that one thing could be a big problem. And it could be a big problem for many people, right? You solve it, and then all of a sudden everyone wants it because the pain points are essentially being answered for. When we have something like that, yes, it will start one by one, but then all at once you'll start to see all of them. And I think that this is the same case for trade finance digitization. And I still think that all of the efficiencies here around trade finance, especially digitizing it, is crucial to mention because this is a market that has been ripe for disruption forever. It's also been a market that hasn't really been touched by digitization ever. So it's a big deal. And like I said, it's going to put things into motion pretty quickly. And we also do see over here from Marina, the digital commerce revolution at G20 India. This is that video that I was talking about. It's a 54-second long clip. Listen closely, play it.
One such focal point is the exploration of the multifaceted benefits that technology offers in the context of trade, addressing challenges and opening new opportunities. The usage of Industry 4.0 tools in trade, encompassing AI, ML, DLT, and blockchain as well, collectively being referred to in the paper as Trade 4.0, has direct measurable benefits in terms of increased efficiency, reduced cost, greater transparency, and predictability, with a resultant enhancement in the resilience of GBCs. In addition, technology offers the opportunity of greater inclusivity in trade, enabling MSMEs and LDCs to participate more effectively in global supply chains.
And this is huge to mention because just like in the XRP video from earlier today, I was talking about this video and I was addressing the, push on the fourth industrial revolution, right? It's happening. It's becoming a big deal. Blockchain DLT, it's a crucial piece of this puzzle. This is why I say, these tokens like XDC and XLM and XRP, we look at them today and we're talking about billion-dollar market caps for them. But, why aren't we addressing $1 trillion plus market cap for these tokens? Is it too crazy to think about these tokens having that $1 trillion plus market cap potential? This is technology. This is technology that, in my opinion, could very well be the fundamental piece to the foundation that tomorrow's trade finance sector is running on, or even tomorrow's payments are being settled through, and even sourcing the power of some of this technology as well. Like everything that I mentioned on this channel has been heavily focused on the idea of blockchain and DLT becoming such a significant piece of our global infrastructure to the point where everyone is utilizing this technology without realizing it. That's the key to mass adoption. And when we talk about that, when we address that, to me, it's fundamental to realize, because when we have all of these big players utilizing this technology, when we have trillions of dollars flowing through DLT rails, and when we see digital technology being at the foundation of almost all of these major industries, we can't be talking about billion-dollar market caps. We just can't. And I say this with all respect to those out there that think that crypto is already too overvalued, or crypto's this, crypto's that. I just don't think those people realize how big of a game changer this technology is. I really don't. And again, it really does go into the idea of under research. People are not doing enough research. They're underexposed to a lot of what's happening around this space. And I still think that the general public still believes that crypto is just, this, space where it's just Bitcoin, and, Bitcoin is the big, player. If Bitcoin's down in value, everything's down in value. There's no real value tied to all of these other tokens. It's just Bitcoin. And I still think that people are boxing themselves in when they are really kind of thinking like that, because as we really kind of look at this space, there's incredible innovations happening. There's trillion-dollar gaps being filled. And this technology, in my opinion, over the course of the next couple years is going to be a pillar in our global system. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.